Heidi Campos. Can I grab a seat here? Oh, can.
Actually, I'm more comfortable standing.
I got my Britney mic on, so we're gonna bring the vibes to right now. So we're gonna go around. So we have our medical professionals. So let's make some noise for our medical professional that we have here. Perfect. I'll actually, well, we're gonna jump into this right now, but so we're gonna be discussing some topics, and then we have our gentleman here. Let's make some noise for our gentleman. I think we can do better than that, right? I think we can do better than that. Yes, let's make some noise for our gentlemen. They're very excited. So we do have some rules, so everybody should have a flag. Does everybody have a flag?
I do.
Yes? Okay. I want you to have your flag, wave it in the air, wave it like you just don't care. Okay. So these are the rules. So we're going to bring some topics. We're going to have our panelists introduce themselves. We can't wait to hear from your backgrounds. But as we ask the questions, we are going to have our panelists give their takes. We're going to hear their mindset. We're going to hear where they're at. And if you like what they're saying, we're going to put our teal flags in the air. Can I get some practice waves from our teal flags? Okay, that's what we want to see, okay? And if you don't like what they're saying, okay, this is a judge-free zone. We see and we don't judge, but we want to see those red flags. Can we see the red flags?
That's judging.
We know our guys are not going to make any red flags happen tonight, right?
Absolutely
no,
not.
No, well, we're going to see. We're going to find out in a second. But, and if you have something to say, okay, we need you to get your flag up in the air and wave it like crazy. Like, give me an example right now. I need an example. Yes, like this. And if you have your red flag and you shake it like crazy, we're actually going to go to you and hear what you have to say as well. So I'm going to start off with a statistic, okay? By the way, how's everybody feeling? Yes? I'm all about energy. So we're interacting. I gotta get the best energy out of you guys, yes? Okay, so
I got burpees.
we're going to start. We're going to start with the introduction, actually, and then I'll give you guys the statistics afterwards. We're going to have them introduce themselves. Please give us your background. Do you want to hear from the medical professional first, or do you want to hear from our male panelists first?
Medical.
Make some noise for our medical professional that we have here. Make some noise for our male panelists. Oh, that was kind of even. That was kind of even. Okay, we'll try it again. One for our medical professionals. One for our male panelists. We have our beautiful medical professional here. She's going to be giving us her name, her background, and her experience in the medical field. If you could please introduce yourself for everyone.
My name is Naomi. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I've been in the medical field for 20 years and specializing in regenerative medicine and hormone replacement and sexual wellness for the past 7 years. And I'm the founder and I run Bessa Wellness and Beauty, and that's where all the magic happens.
Very cool. Bessa Wellness. Make some noise for Bessa Wellness. Is she very well versed in hormones? Yes.
Yeah.
Is she very well versed in, sexual health? Is she very well versed? Yes, she is. Okay. So we're gonna go to our male panelists. We're gonna start with this gentleman right here. If you could please introduce yourself, give us a little bit of your background, your name, what do you do for work? Let us know if you're married or single, because we want to know kind of where he's at. Yes.
Yes, my name is Edgar. A lot of you, some people know me because I do the social media stuff. I talk about relationships, kinky stuff, like all that stuff on my social media. So I know some people follow that, and I do social media full time. So
Okay,
that's what I
cool.
do.
Very cool. Let's make some noise. Let's make some noise. We're going to go next to Mr. Henry.
All right, my name is Henry Escobar. I own a gym here in Avondale called Fitness Junkies. Here with my beautiful fiance that's going to wave that
That deserves a teal flag. Let's make a teal flag for a beautiful fiance over here. And we should make some noise for Henry for doing the shout out, right? That was great. I love it.
That's already a blue flag.
That's a blue flag right there.
My name is Luciano. I guess you could say the ultimate entrepreneur. Started off as a club promoter, became a restaurant owner, have a clothing brand. Now I also have a festival called Medical Fest. I'm one of the main guys that run that. Always working, always hustling. Some people could call me a player for being a promoter for so long, but a ladies' man. No, I'm just
Okay, we're ready to hear
Teal
from that
flag, teal
later.
flag. No, I'm just playing. But now, yeah, just.
Is that a red flag, ladies?
Just
Or
another hustler. That's it. Nice to meet you guys.
okay, give it up for Luciano. Okay, great job. All right. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Zayway. I was born and raised in California. I've been in Arizona for like 11 years now. I'm a YouTuber first, but I'm on all platforms. And my fiance is right there.
Can you see the microphone real quick?
Okay.
I forgot to say that my beautiful girlfriend's right there too, by the way. I don't want her. Veronica, right there. Damn. She was giving me those eyeballs. She was like, you didn't say it.
Okay, she is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay, that definitely deserves a teal flag, yes? Okay, good. So we're gonna have some fun. So we have in a relationship, single.
Oh, yeah.
You called yourself the ultimate player, so we're...
Was the ultimate player. Alpha. No, I'm just playing. No, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so...
Figure it out later on.
It looks like a question mark, but we'll keep it as a single for right now. Okay, and then we have Mr. Zayway in a committed relationship as well, right?
Yes.
So we have some statistics we're gonna throw out, okay? And I kind of just want to feel the room, how we're going, because I love that Nuria put this event together. By the way, and I know she had a lot of help as well from everybody who joined. But let's give a big round of applause. Because this is needed, and really, I think as this event is really to make awareness, because this is ovarian cancer is a cancer that affects women only, right? We know only women have ovaries. Yes? Yes? We know only women have ovaries. So this is an event to talk about cancer that specifically targets women. But even as women, can we agree that men are very important in our society? Yes? Yeah. And the way that we connect, the way that we grow also has a lot to do with the support that we have of men. And I know that we have amazing men in our community that help lift that up. So really what we're trying to do here is kind of hear the men's side of it, see how the men can better support women through illness, through challenges, and kind of see where they're at and see where we're going, okay? So we're gonna start with our first statistic, and I wanna hear a little bit about what you guys think. Women, you guys ready? Yeah. Women initiate nearly 60% of divorces in the 50 plus age demographic. So more than, so we got someone's giving a testimony right now, okay? So women initiate nearly what percent? 60%. Tell your neighbor 60% right now. 60% of the divorces of 50 plus age demographic. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah, because they're very emotional. But there's nothing wrong being emotional.
So it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, there's a whole life together, right? There's a whole life together, and then at the age of 50 plus, it's like, hey, we're gonna split up. It's kind of a touchy time, right? Because they've probably been together for a while. And then I would love to hear our medical professionals. If we can get a mic over here. I think she deserves her own mic, right? The guys can share a mic. So let's get one over here. What do we think about this statistic?
That statistic sounds very much accurate. And you wonder, yeah, because they've lived together for such a long time, all of a sudden now they're splitting up. What happened? What's changed, right? The hormonal changes is one of the things that are occurring, and being misunderstood. This is a phase in life where hormones start to fluctuate. They get emotional, they become irritable, they are fatigued, their moods are all over the place, their libido decreases. And unfortunately, the first person that takes the wrath, right, is usually the spouse, the husband. All of a sudden, everything he says or anything he does triggers him. But because they're misunderstood.
Wow.
They're misunderstood. They're not heard. So people think it's just, she's hormonal. It's just her hormones. She's too emotional. She's too dramatic. It's hormones, but it's also not being understood.
Wow. Any opinions on that over here?
I mean, I'm trying to think of that Instagram quote where it says like, women will leave or like do it for their happiness and men will do it for their family or something like that in the lines. Like you said, 60%. I feel like relationships that I personally been in, even having my own child. And my kid's over there in Chicago. I can't even go see my kid because the mother of my kid, I told her I don't want to be with you. It just doesn't make sense. But I'll be the best dad, best co-parent, best friend. And now she used my kid against me. So like what I'm getting at is like, just because of that sense, I feel like her happiness is not there. And I already knew that I didn't want her. Like, no offense in the nicest way. But I'm trying to think of the quote. It's like something in the sense of like, women will leave a happy family, happy life to make their life better. I don't know, something in that sense.
So you think that men are like down to stay more committed in the long term? Do you think that's why it's women doing it?
I mean, I'm not trying to, say women always do it, but like I said, they'll go do it for
I'm
their
trying to see if there's any
happiness.
flags right now. I'm like, is anybody putting flags?
You got nothing but red flags, bro.
Thanks, man.
He's like, I'm gonna stop talking.
Way to help me out, fellas.
I'd say, let's talk about underappreciated men.
Say it again?
Underappreciated men will be.
That's what I was trying to
Underappreciated. Translation from Henry. Henry the translator says it's underappreciation. I see flags going up. Red. Teal flags. Okay. So I think this is a great start. We're gonna get back to.
Hold on, I got.
Oh, we got one more.
Well, it's because a lot of the questions that I get, like when because girls send me questions and I just give a guy's response. So a lot of the time. They're hopeful that it's gonna work out. They're hopeful because the guy, sometimes it happens. Relationships happen. You get comfortable. You guys stop being intimate. But the girl is hopeful that the guy is gonna change. Instead of communicating with the guy, saying like, hey, maybe we should, work on this. They're like, for example, I tell them sometimes you'll have an argument because they leave their clothes on the floor, but them not being intimate with you, you don't want to have that argument because it's gonna cause a fight. I was like, that's the fight you should be having, not your clothes on the floor, right? So I think it comes down to both, but it's usually the girl that ends up leaving. The guy will stay up until like when the girl leaves, because you guys seen like when a guy cheats, he'll probably try to make it work. He'll try to be like, let's get married, let's have a baby. Like that's typically what happens. But it's not until the girl leaves that they're like, all right, cool, we're getting divorced.
So you think that women are just not as confrontational?
No, yes,
Swept under the rug.
yes, and it comes to both. There's just very low communication in relationships now. Like they're afraid to talk. The awkward stuff, they're afraid to have it with their partner.
Ladies, do you think that goes? Because I think the communication is usually initiated by the ladies, right? Ladies, what do you think? Red flag or teal flag? Red flag.
Let me just,
The flags are going crazy right now.
let me chime in. And on a serious note, I think it depends on situations. I think communication within a relationship, I think, is key. You can hear so many different stories, but statistics are statistics. But when it comes to individual situations, with you and your partner, the level of communication that you carry is going to be the level of, like, how can I say it? How well you communicate will be how well you resolve problems to avoid having to get to that point.
Okay, so we have a well, wow, the guys are in the back holding strong with teal flag. Okay, the ladies are red flag. We have our beautiful medical professional that gave us a great feedback. We would love to hear it so everybody can know what it is.
Well, I was saying, I think it's selective. You brought up a good point, that they're not going to have a problem bringing up the shoes left out, but other issues or other concerns, they're going to kind of hold back, and they're not going to communicate. Why? Why do that? I mean, communication is key. It's huge. Like it's the biggest part of a relationship and working a relationship is communicating with each other. I've been married for 26 years. Okay. And I'll tell you, I came to a realization. Okay, men are not mind readers. Okay, if there's something that we want from them, we have to tell them. We have to communicate.
Men are different too.
If we need help, if we need something from our significant others, we have to communicate that. They're not mind readers. We cannot assume that they know what we're thinking or what we're needing. we have to tell them.
Yeah.
And especially in times, let's not just talk about menopause or hormonal break. Even when, we're young and we have our ups and downs, yes, and again, before parents are keeping us in, right? But during pregnancy, our hormones really screw with us as well. We have to communicate. When I was pregnant, okay, I would always tell my husband, look, you know what? I'm really hormonal today, babe. Don't take offense or don't take it personally if I say something or if I do something. I'm just hormonal. Like, don't pay attention to me today, right? But he also understood that he needs to be a little more supportive. He needs to be a little more there, present for me, right? Hey, if you're not feeling yourself today, I'll take care of the little one. Go rest, or I'll take her to the park. Go do something nice for yourself. That's the key in the relationship. If there's no communication, it's not going to work.
Right.
Eventually, it's going to come to the point where one is going to just get tired and end up packing and leaving. And the other one's going to, I thought everything was fine. What just happened? Right. So, I just want to...
I love that. Let's give a round of applause, okay? Because there was a lot of great wisdom in that. I think that great wisdom of over 26 years, 26 years of marriage in today's society. Everyone, let's give a round of applause for that. We're not just getting information from a medical professional. I think that 26 years, I'm like, let's turn this into a marriage wisdom right now because that's amazing. But I do agree. Ladies, can we get better at communicating our needs instead of thinking that let's feel flat? I love it. Okay. So I believe that our amazing medical professional and now marriage professional has a few questions that she has for our gentlemen who would love to hear them and hear what you guys have to say.
Okay. Yes. So this question is for Henry. Is the rise in divorce during menopause about hormones or lack of emotional support?
That's a loaded question, Henry. Be careful.
Is there a multiple choice?
Is the rise in divorce during menopause about hormones or lack of emotional support?
I think it's both. I think as men, first off, we have to be educated on hormones and events like this to understand, because hormones to us could be something a lot different than hormones to you. So I think we go back to the communication part, is where you have to be able to have that dialogue with your partner to understand what they go through during those times. And I think, being able to be supportive, and actively listen is crucial. So it's hard to say what's one versus the other. I just think it's knowing your partner by having that communication to be able to find out how you can help in those situations. I couldn't really say which is what. For me, I know with my partner is, if I don't ask, I don't know. So asking how she feels, how can I help you feel better? How can I help understand is crucial in a situation where they might be going through something that I'm not aware of because I don't have words or whatever. You know what I mean? So.
Awesome. Let me see the flags. I want to see the flags. What do you guys think? Wow, Mr. Henry's getting all the flags. The gentleman over here has a red flag, but I think everybody else has two flags. It was for him. Okay, but we have 99% two flags. But I have a question on that because you're saying, okay, yes, and I agree with that. Gentlemen need to be more informed, right? But I think Nuria talked about it earlier. Like, ladies, we have an event and we have a bunch of ladies there. It is kind of hard to get a gentleman, like, imagine tell your husband, hey, let's go to an event and go learn about hormones. Like, how many men are going to say, yeah, babe, let's go? So, like, that's part of the education side, but, like, are the men open to going to an event like that?
I think it just depends on the man.
Okay. Would the men here be open to going to an event to learn about hormones? I think that is the question, right?
It's just how much you love that woman. You're gonna do anything for her.
Wow.
do guys know more about?
Why do people know more about erectile dysfunction than menopause?
It's probably because it goes back to the whole communication. Like we really don't ask, you know. Like I'm not very educated in it, you know. Like so, if you talk to me about menopause, I'm like I don't know. But that's also the responsibility of me, like to say, like when like my partner's going through it, to learn about that, like what they're going through. That way, like it can like I know how to react to her, you know, like help her, emotionally support, which I learned later on, especially like growing up Hispanic. Like we're supposed to man up and just deal with things, right? No, and I've gotten told before too, like in the past, I'm a very cold person, and so which helped me like open up and learn, be more open. Because before I'd be like, oh well, all we got to do is just do this, we'll fix it. And like it's fine. Like we don't need to worry about it. And I learned the hard way that's not the way you're supposed to do things. And like just get over it. So I would just say it's because we're just not educated. But erectile dysfunction, if your guy starts to go, it's a huge ego. It's a huge ego killer. Like it's a huge ego killer. So of course we're gonna be searching to see what it is about, right? And so I think that's why, because if it happens to us, it hurts our ego.
Okay, so it hurts the ego versus the ladies is like we're gonna tough it out. So you think the ladies are tougher in that sense, or the ego needs to be? We have the doctor over here shaking her head, yes, up and down.
I just like personally me, it would be just asking, but there's a lack of communication. You know, like there's a lack of communication. We really don't talk to. You don't go up to your partner, like most guys won't go up to their partner and be like, "Tell me about let's learn about menopause," right? Like that's not a conversation that we have.
You guys don't talk about that on your Wednesday night dinner?
I think it's tough because I don't know how not to be blunt with it, but a woman going through menopause can still sleep with her husband because there's lube for that. A man going through erectile dysfunction, if he ain't got a pill, then he got a
That's a great point. Where's the red flags and blue flags?
They don't
So
get
what
us.
you're saying is,
like a dead body and take it.
the sense of urgency is higher.
I mean, that is what it is. It's the truth.
We have the doctor saying no.
Hey, you got a blue flag though.
So he's saying because it's a more important point at that point for one individual.
How I'm filtering this to answer your question is, for a woman, she can not be as communicative with her partner because she's doing it for him, right? You're going through some way and you're not functioning right, but you love your husband, so you take it, you do what you got to do it for him, and it goes unnoticed, so it's not talked about as much. Whereas in a man, pardon my French, but your shit don't get up, you're gonna be accusing him all of a sudden, or you're gonna be feeling some type of way. But it's the truth. Women will do a lot more for their men, and they might not be as communicative about it because they're doing it for their family, for their love.
Where are the flags on that? Where are the flags on that? He turned it around at the end is what the ladies are saying, okay? We got red and no teal anymore. The teal's all the way down. They're putting up both to be neutral.
So ED, erectile dysfunction,
Okay.
that is openly discussed. You see commercials, it's on magazines, it's on posters at the doctor's office, right? Menopause is not. It's not. It's just not. It's not spoken about. It's not. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like menopause is misunderstood. It's not acknowledged. Like when a woman goes to the doctor or her OBGYN and she complains and she has concerns, like I'm not feeling like myself. I have no libido. I don't enjoy sex anymore. I have discomfort, pain when I'm having sex. You know, most of the time what the woman hears is, you're just stressed, just, take it easy. They'll do a set of labs, just to do you a favor, and they'll, check your hormones. And most of the time, they'll just say, oh, everything looks fine. You don't need anything. You're good. If a man goes to the doctor, okay, and complains about erectile dysfunction, what's he going to get right away? He's going to get a prescription. Right. He's going to be acknowledged, and he will receive something, right, to treat this problem. Unfortunately, it's not the same thing with women.
Wow.
Okay? Now, I like your response with regards to what you had said earlier, how, the hormonal changes, right? Why does divorce happen? It's not just because, in menopause, it's not just because of hormones, it's not just because of, that lack of emotional support, it's both, right? So, I feel like both man and woman, okay, they have to have that communication when they reach that phase in their lives. If a woman is going through her changes, okay, and if she's starting to notice that her libido is not what it was before, all of a sudden, sex is not enjoyable anymore. Instead of just taking it because, hey, there's lube, right? Communicate it. Let's find a solution here together. Let's go to the doctor together. Let's figure this out. I can't tell you how many marriages I've been able to save, okay? Just because one patient comes to me, say the man comes to me, he's having issues. We fix these problems. It's these testosterone levels are low, he's having erectile dysfunction, and yeah, what's the wife gonna think? Oh, is he not into me? Is he seeing someone on the side? Is he getting, is he getting satisfied somewhere else? So, I give props to those men, okay, who come and see me for these concerns. We take care of that problem, then they bring their wives. We fix her problems, now they're back to like their honeymoon phase. Everything is fine. So I feel like that's very, very important, okay, that creating awareness and educating on the importance of checking for hormones, being there for each other, acknowledging, that there is something going on, let's go figure it out.
Right. And I think probably a lot. Let's give a round of applause for that. Was that just? We have a couple statistics as far as menopause because I love what we're sharing here, and I think part of that what you're talking about is also going to a doctor that actually cares about those areas because if you just go to a general doctor, they're going to tell you everything's fine. They're not running those camels. They're not running those hormones. They're not talking about hormone therapies. They're just talking about your levels are fine and keep moving. Tough it out.
Going to a provider who has the training, okay, the training and the knowledge in hormone replacement. Unfortunately, in school, they really don't put enough time to discuss hormones, okay, how to treat hormones. I mean, the only thing I got when I was in school was, okay, if she's going through menopause, here, birth control pill, or, just give her something, synthetic. They don't even acknowledge that women need testosterone. And that's very important. If our testosterone levels are low, it's not just low libido or sex is not enjoyable. Our energy levels are affected. We're fatigued. We have brain fog. We can't remember things. We're not motivated. We just don't want to do anything. So it's important to go to a doctor who knows about hormone replacement.
I love that. I love that. By the way, ladies, who didn't know ladies needed testosterone too? Anybody not know? Anybody learn that today? I love that. I love that. Okay. So we got a couple statistics regarding menopause, my friends, okay? Approximately 1.3 million women enter menopause annually. Is that not a huge number? 1.3 million women enter menopause annually. And 1 in 10 women leave the workforce due to menopause symptoms. Isn't that crazy to think about? 1 in 10 women leave the workforce due to menopause symptoms. So I think we have some questions regarding that as well.
Well, they leave the workforce because of the symptoms. Why? What are the symptoms? Well, they're irritable, they're moody, again, their energy levels are low, they can't concentrate and focus because their testosterone levels are low, and the brain fog, don't get me started on that, it's awful. So if you're someone who, functioning well, you're productive, you're motivated, that executive function thinking is there, and all of a sudden your hormones decline, and this can happen, believe it or not, overnight. all of a sudden you're on yourself. You kind of feel like you're losing your identity, who you really are. So imagine having to work with other people, try to concentrate, be productive. It's very difficult. And yeah, it's a real statistic. Women actually end up leaving the workforce because they just can't do it anymore.
How many women are one doctor visit away from feeling themselves again? What do you gentlemen think about that?
How many?
What do you think about that many women entering menopause every year, and how many women end up leaving the workforce because of the menopause symptoms? But it's not something that we talk about.
It just puts a lot in perspective, I think, realizing that number's so high.
Very high, definitely. Anyone else? All the gentlemen are big supporters. Okay, big round of applause for the gentlemen. They're big supporters. Okay, I like it. I like it. I feel like some of them are trying to play safe answers. They're like, I'm not getting red flag today. Okay, I like it. Okay, I think we have one or two more questions for our gentlemen, right?
Yes. Okay. This question. Let's see. Luciana. Should women's hormonal health be taught in schools the same way puberty is?
100%. Yeah, because there's men and women, so a lot of women you talk about it. Obviously, after this event, more than ever, you want to learn about it more and be more respectful towards it. So it's kind of like I said, there's some schools that don't want to talk about sex, but in reality, it's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to learn about it, so why not learn safe sex before, you have a baby at a young age or you get a type of disease, so why wouldn't they teach that in school?
What do we think? Flags? Where are the flags? Flags?
Don't teach it? No?
Wow. Steel flag for Luciano. Okay, great job, great job.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I used to do a health class for middle school.
Oh, wow.
For middle schoolers, and I used to teach them the importance of just understanding what their bodies are going through, the changes, and what to expect. That was part of the curriculum. But do they teach girls, young ladies, what to expect 10 years from now, 15 years from now? No, and that's very important. Not just for themselves, what they're going to be experiencing, but also to understand what their moms are going to be experiencing, and be compassionate and be understanding and supportive. Remember, we have to be there for our parents also. And oh my gosh, I remember my mom going through her changes. I wish that my mom went to see someone like me back then. The transition would have been a lot easier, and maybe she would have gotten divorced.
Wow.
She did get divorced later in life.
Wow. That's crazy. Can any of you guys relate to that? Seeing your moms maybe like thinking, oh, I should have been more supportive during that time, or thinking I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, my mom's always been, I call her OG moms, so my mom's always held it down. And I have 3 older sisters, no brothers. So I think my sisters probably did it and I went past my head. But anything that my dad goes through, obviously, is my best friend. So whatever he needs, I'm right there. But he never told me about child dysfunction. But I think, yeah, like I said, it just all matters on the family. It matters, your lifestyle. Because I have 3 older sisters, so they definitely were there for my mom. So yeah, it just matters on the family and everybody's situation.
Very cool. Okay. All right, let's go to our next question. I think we got one more. Our gentleman on the very end is a little quiet. We got the gentleman right here a little quiet.
What?
They're getting nervous. They're trying to play it safe. You can see you guys calculating your very politically correct answers for the ladies.
Great answers.
They're trying not to get red flagged out. Are they doing a good job? Okay, awesome. All right, let's take the next one.
Next question is for Henry.
I think we already got Henry.
Yeah.
Let's have it redirected to Mr. Zayway down there at the end. He looks like he's ready to give a good answer.
Okay, so what does emotional support look like for you?
For me, emotional support is kind of like what Preston was saying earlier, just being there for them, adjusting, catering to their, like what they need. And I think that's really just adjusting to their emotions and just asking them questions like we were talking about earlier. Because you won't know if you don't
ask, communicate. And the main thing is don't take things personally. Don't take things personally, because when a woman's hormones are not optimized, she gets irritated easily, she gets triggered easily, and then she might say something that could be hurtful. She might regret it later. She doesn't mean it. So don't take things personally.
We're saying, gentlemen, take the apology in advance.
Question.
Okay?
But like, how personal does it get before you just take it as disrespect and move on?
Well,
Wait, it's a question.
I like that question. I like that question.
For the medical
so remember, let's say you have a couple that have been together for a while.
Yeah.
And everything's fine, right? And there's no such thing as, well, I shouldn't say that. Let's say normally you don't disrespect each other, right? You're respectful, you don't curse each other around, right? All of a sudden, now the spouse, the wife, the girlfriend is acting like a completely different person. They're not themselves. So I think that, you can kind of make a conclusion that something's going on with her. This is not her. Right?
100%. But what I'm saying, like, when do us as males, men, just completely let them know, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take this disrespect. Like, say you tell them something about your personal life that you trust them with, and they use that against you. Is it time to
That's
get up and
different.
leave?
No, yeah, I think
That's different?
Yeah.
Next time.
We're breaching trust.
Turquoise? No?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that there's a difference between trust and then the temporary, like, there's some difference. Like, if there's...
For example,
Right?
like for example, when you didn't put the cap on the toothpaste, it's turned off. Nora,
And we're at a 10.
yeah, right. And normally it's not.
Right. Then there's a question, like, there's something...
I have a question more for you. So, does this affect your brain function?
Great question.
Absolutely. It does, yes. Amongst them, a lot of other things that it affects. Absolutely, it affects like brain function. That's why it's so important to optimize hormones for bone health, for heart health, for brain health.
So let's because we're talking about menopause, but let's talk about pregnancy, because I think everybody here has been around someone that has gone through a pregnancy. So is that same thing as like mommy brain? Would that also affect, like, let's say someone is a woman is pregnant, she's forgetting things, and they're like, why are you all of a sudden not remembering? Is that kind of similar?
Yeah, because when a woman is pregnant, her hormones are also very, the hormones are different than when she's not pregnant, right? Her hormone levels are higher so that she can maintain that pregnancy. And it messes with us. It messes with our emotions. It messes with our memory. So absolutely, yes.
The gentleman should be a little more patient, or they should be more like asking questions, like...
I think both. Absolutely both. Be patient,
Agreement? Disagreement?
No, I agree.
Disagreement?
carrying your baby. Be nice.
Teal flag, loud and proud in the front, okay? What do you guys think? Teal flags, the gentlemen deserve teal flags because they're not disagreeing, so should we teal flag? Okay, I think we got one more. I think we have our last question.
Okay.
I wanted to see a debate, but it seems like the gentlemen really are very supportive. I love it. I love it.
Because I'm a mama's boy, so.
Okay. Oh, okay. Honesty hour, I like it, okay. Do we have confirmation from the fiance? She says yes. Okay, I like it.
All right, no, I mean, I understand. But, all right. So, being understanding is one thing, right? Going through hormones is one thing. Now, taking advantage of the situation or being disrespectful towards your partner is a totally different thing. And I think that's where there has to be a fine line of having respect in a relationship, where if you're having a bad day, you're not going to go call your boss and insult him, right? Because you're smart enough not to do that. But it's okay to treat your husband a certain way.
So that's what I said. Who's the first person that gets the
reaction.
Your partner.
That's the partner.
Right. And I think that's so one way, you know what I mean? Because you're going to be smart enough not to disrespect other people, but your partner would be okay to take it.
It's not okay.
But it is, because because you still.
It's not okay to be disrespectful. I think you're confusing what I'm trying to, like the point I'm trying to make. It's not okay. Like I would never. Listen, I already, I've had my little hormonal whatever. So I would never go and disrespect my husband in a way where, I'm like belittling him, but I did notice that things were like annoying me, things would trigger me, right? And again, things that I was just kind of like, wouldn't bother me before, all of a sudden I'm just like, why didn't you put your shoes away? I told you a million times, lock the sliding door before we go to sleep, damn it, somebody's gonna come in and kill us, what is wrong with you, So, I was like that before. And this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's not okay, of course, to belittle and disrespect. There is a difference. So that's not something that I'm saying you have to put up with and, don't take that personally, no. Right. Obviously, and a woman also has to acknowledge at some point, like, hey, I'm not myself.
Right.
I'm not myself. I need to do something. I need to figure this out.
Yeah, but I think also part of that comes to education because women are like, I just feel like I'm crazy. You don't realize like, oh man, maybe I just need testosterone or maybe I just need this. So sometimes it's like maybe they don't even know how to communicate that to their partner. They just feel off. They feel like the identity changed.
Right, they feel off. There's something wrong, and you think that these hormonal changes, like menopause occurs what do you think? 50s, right? Women is approaching her 50s. Nowadays, it's starting earlier and earlier. There are women who are starting to go through these hormonal changes, unfortunately, in the mid-30s. So, you think, I'm only 32, 34, 35, like, there's no way it can be my hormones. But I see this more and more every day. And thank God now for Google and ChatGPT and Grok, right? So now people start putting in their symptoms. What's wrong with me? I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z. And then they're starting to understand that, okay, this could be a hormonal problem. One more thing I want to add is it's not just women who go through the hormonal changes, guys. Men go through them as well, okay?
We got a lot of flags. Teal flags with crazy right now.
Hormonal changes too, and they also have their little.
Oh yeah, it's called andropause. So women go through menopause, the guys go through andropause, right? And what does that mean? That's when their testosterone levels start to decline. So what happens?
I inject mine. I keep it real.
It's like I'm covered. I'm covered.
One of the symptoms is erectile dysfunction. They start to get a little lazy, less motivated. They come home from work, have dinner, just plump on the couch, fall asleep. They start to develop this little, belly, the little abdominal section. They start to gain. Yes, low testosterone. Yeah.
Do they get brain fog too? Do men get brain fog too?
Yes. They'll feel the fatigue. They'll get brain fog. Some men, they realize, okay, I think I need to test my, testosterone levels. And then there are some men who are stubborn, and they think that testosterone is just a sex hormone. So when their wives bring it up to them, they get offended.
Right.
Well, I'm fine. Everything works. It's fine, But it's not just about sex. It's not just about getting an erection. There's so much more to it. Testosterone is important for a lot of other systems in our body. So we have to create this awareness, not just for women, but for men as well.
Wow, great. Great, love it.
I got a question for you.
Oh, we got a question.
He has a question. He does have a
Wait, my quick game over here. That's what I
Okay, where's your question? Because we gotta know.
said. No, that's it right here. Right here. No, it's for you, bro.
You guys want to report the question anonymous? Is that what you want?
Just go outside and say it.
All right. Is this for our medical professional hormone specialist question, or is this a question for the general?
This is a question for the men.
Oh, wow.
All right, so I'm gonna shake it up. Whoever is bold enough to answer this one. I know y'all got ladies. Look, Lucy, I ain't got no ladies.
I got shit to do, excuse me. Let's go.
All right, Luciano. So my question to you is, if a woman is going through a hormonal change change and she cheats on you.
Oh,
But she says it's because you weren't meeting my emotional needs, and I tried to communicate with you, but you were not emotionally sensitive enough.
You know, emotionally be sensitive with somebody else. Like, that's one thing that I'm sorry, but let me go with, I always say this, like, put yourself in my shoes. So I'll flip the question to her, like, let me go with 10 other women, because that one has to get 10. No, I was playing. No, but let me go cheat on you. Would you accept me? Would you stay with me? Maybe she might, because women do. No offense, ladies, you guys do stay. But in reality, the way I was raised, from OG mom, OG pops, have been together since they were 15, they're 70. I've been around that all my life. That woman don't love me. That woman's going through it again if I let her, and I'm out. I mean, it is what it is. That's just me. And any man that does accept a woman that cheats, that's on them. That's there. I'm not calling them a weak man. Me, personally, I'm always think of another dude. I'm always think of another dude with my woman, and that's just turquoise. Turquoise. You already know how I'm not staying. I'm not staying.
We feel flag. What do you guys think? Gentlemen, did you like the answer?
y'all cheated.
I agree with that because, like, at the end of the day,
Give her the mic. Give her the mic.
no, I agree with that because at the end of the day, even if, like, us women, if our men cheat on us, we're always gonna think, is he texting that girl? Is he going back to her? Like, things like that. So I agree with your answer because at the end of the day, it's always gonna be in the back of our head. Like, is she still talking to this guy? Is she messaging him? Is she messaging another guy? Because, like, she had, even though, yeah, she communicated that you're not being emotionally, like, supportive, but at the end of the day, like, she also hurt you. You know what I mean? So, not only did you hurt me, but I also hurt you at the end of the day. So it's not an eye for an, it's like not an eye for an eye, but like I agree with you.
Yeah, because it's gonna turn petty.
Make some noise if you agree. Boo her if you do not agree. Okay, I'm still.
Well, let me just say, I guess if you flip the tables and your girl going through menopause, so you went out and slept, and she had a dry candy, would that justify it? And the women's out there.
What does our position have to say, though?
I'm on it.
I cannot justify cheating.
Right.
Exactly.
We cannot justify cheating.
Yeah, no.
We're teal flagging or we're red flagging. We got 100% teal flagging.
No hormonal stuff, huh?
Okay, I got a question for the man. Are you more observant to her attitude and emotions, or are you more observant to her not have sex with you?
I think for me, I would be more observant on why. Why is the reason, whether it be hormonal or something going on in your relationship. The act of sex is one thing. The relationship that you have with your partner behind it is a totally different thing. I think I'd be more worried about what the cause is than the actual act, you know?
Teal flag, red flag.
That's OG right
Do we
there. OG.
I see a lot of teal flags. 100% teal flag.
One more question. Okay. So why do a lot of men care about sex than their partners being more intimate with them when they're actually going through hormonal change?
I said you give the mic to our gentleman right here. You look like you're ready to jump in.
No, what did he say?
So the only reason why I ask that is I go by the Bible. It says you see but do not understand, but you look. I mean you hear but don't understand, but you see but do not observe. So that scripture means that we hear a lot of things, but we truly don't understand it, and then we see a lot of things, but we don't really observe it. So the reason why I ask is that because a lot of men care about women having sex with them more than their attitudes.
That's true, but I think it also depends on who it is. Like, cause I was like that before. Like before, to someone who you really don't care, you don't really pay attention to all the little things about them. But when you actually find somebody and you actually care about them, like her, like if she starts acting, I'm like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? More than that, you know, like I want to make sure she's in a great space because in the past I didn't care, like to be honest. But then that comes with maturing and learning. So that's what I would say. Like it just just getting to know your person.
Flag. Where are we at?
And I think
Flag. Our teal flag. Is that a beautiful shout out for our beautiful girlfriend?
I think
Well, that's 1,000%. Yes, 1,000%. I love it.
trying to think to your question, I think some people see sex as an act of lust, as a form of pleasure, a form of satisfaction, and you get to a certain age where you see it as a form of love, an expression of love towards another person. So for a lot of people that haven't matured to that point, they're going to see sex as just an act of meaningless, you know.
But sex is not just intimacy. It's not a physical intimacy.
So
Give her the mic.
So what's the definition of sex in Sinaloa?
Sex is a covenant with God. Come on. That's an energy exchange. That's what sex is. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we all fall short. But here's the thing, is like when you are going after the intimacy level, oh, I need to be physical to be able to be attracted to her, to be able to see if we can work it out. That's not love. That's not intimacy. That is straight up lust. And that is something that's over you. Anyway, that's another conversation. But basically, emotional intimacy is way different, and that's what you have to learn first in order to
Yeah, okay. Where are our flags at? Where are our flags at? All three flags. Let's do a lot of flags.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay?
Don't be acting like you don't get freaky now and then.
I think we have one more question, right? By the way, let's make some noise for our beautiful producer and holding it down. Sharing so much knowledge with us. Okay. We got one more
I
question.
have a question for the nurse. So we know that in men, we lose testosterone, right? Nobody really talks about HRT in women and what they lose. You know, a lot for the guys, like what is it that they lose? Is it estrogen? You know, what type of hormones that are missing from the women when they go through menopause, and what treatment is given to the women? Like we get testosterone, what do you guys get?
It's a very good question. So there are three hormones: estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. Those are the hormones that women get. Men get testosterone.
Great question. I think give a round of applause. That's a great question. Of course, give a round of applause for our practitioner. We got flags over here. I think you're the only one with a flag, but I think if everybody else would put a teal flag if you had a flag, right? I feel like you would. I think we got one last question. And this question is for...
This question is for Henry.
Take out the old guy.
Do women ignore symptoms because they're used to pushing through pain?
Yes. I think women, for one, were brought in this world and they gave birth. They're, I don't want to say designed, but God brought women to go through the process of birthing. And I think women are a lot more powerful than men in different ways. So women are a lot more capable of handling certain types of pain and I think things in life, just emotionally, even though you might be more sensitive, I think you're a lot stronger than most men.
We're more conditioned. We're conditioned. We're taught to push through. It's true. You know, there's a lot that we have to do. You know, giving birth, raising children, running a household, working, being a good, a good wife, a good partner to our spouse. There's a lot on our plate, and we're just taught that we should be able to handle all of this and push through and push through. But women get overwhelmed, and eventually we get burnt out. So I think it is important for women to understand that you don't have to push, you don't have to do it yourself. Like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to delegate sometimes. It's okay to ask your spouse for help. It's okay to ask, get a babysitter, mom's helper, or something for a couple of hours just so you can get dressed and go outside, get some fresh air, do something nice for yourself. So I think that's an important message, you know, that every woman should understand and realize. Like I'm guilty. I did that when I was younger. I have 5 kids, and I was working, and I felt like I had to run everything, and I had to do everything. It was later that I realized that why am I doing this? I'm losing my shit, you know? And because of that, I'm not being the mom that I should be for my kids, because I'm exhausted. Then I realized it's okay to ask my husband to pick some groceries up from the store on the way from work. He's not going to think any, less of me. It's okay to ask the husband, hey, can you help me with the laundry? I don't know, whatever. Whatever if you don't ask, you're not going to receive the help. So this is very important for us ladies to understand and realize. Like, don't do that. You don't have to be carrying everything on your shoulders, pushing and pushing and pushing.
I love it. Give it up.
When you came to the realization of that, was it a certain thing that happened or a certain time that you were dealing with that caused you to be more open to ask for help? Or was it something you realized slowly through your relationship?
Yes, it's something I realized slowly over the years. And then I realized, like I said, that I'm just so overwhelmed and burnt out that it was causing me to, like, physically and emotionally just feel stress. And I didn't feel like I was giving my family, my kids, and myself 100%.
But did your husband see that?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Did your husband
He did.
observe that?
He did, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Until this day, there's a lot that my husband does and helps with that that I was doing 100% of years ago.
Wow.
So I give him props.
I feel like us women just want to do it all because we feel like we need to do it correctly. And we always, in the back of our mind, I hear this all the time. All the time, guys, when moms are like, oh, I sent my husband, and the husband forgot to schedule the follow-up appointment, or the husband missed little things like that. So women were like, oh, I'm just not going to send him anymore, I'm just going to do it myself. And I think a lot of it, that's what it is, because we feel like we just do it better and we're more detail-orientated than men are. But again, we women need to understand that, like, we have to sometimes take off of our plate to give to the man, because the only way he's going to learn is if he continues to do it. And then every time he makes a mistake, we don't yell at him like, you fucked up. Like, hey, did you get this? So that the next time when he goes and we send him, he gets it back. He gets what we're asking.
I agree with you 100%. One more thing I want to add is a lot of it also has to do, I think, with culture and our upbringing.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I saw my mom. She did the same thing. And, my dad would just go to work in the morning, come back home. He didn't have to worry about anything. My mom did everything. Growing up, I thought that was the norm. But then I saw my mom was shit all the time, and I didn't want to be that mom.
Yeah, I agree. I think just seeing my mom, she just always showed me that she could just do it. I'd never seen her like sad, mad, or anything like that. Because I think she just hid it from her kids. So when I look at her, I'm like, oh, nothing's wrong. She's good. But really, I know she's fighting stuff silently. So I agree.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
Do you have to? I would say, like, there's some guys you have to be actually like kind of direct, because, like, for example, my dad, shout out to my pops, right? It'd be like, hey, go get this, and then he comes back, and she was like, no, I needed you to get this brand, this one, and he was just like, all you said was get this, and then I mean, it didn't start an argument, but for some guys, you got to be pretty specific.
I agree. Okay, when I would find out a shopping list for my husband, it would be apples, bananas, tomatoes, X, Y.
And if it's a brand name, put the brand name.
I screenshot and said, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be
So
that
he would tell me, this list is incomplete. Like, how many apples, what color? Because I know I'm going to come back with something and you're not going to be happy. So I want to know exactly how many, what color, what brand. So I had to do that. And I was like, okay, no problem. I will write it all out for you.
We don't take offense if you write it down exactly, because we're just like, okay, this is what she wants, we'll go get that.
Screenshot, this is what I want, get it.
Send a girl let's look at pictures. Yeah, we got every time. It's okay. We got to do that in the beginning. Now I don't have to do that anymore. He just knows.
No pictures, baby.
She got him trained.
We got one more question before we wrap up. I'm going to snag. I think you're right.
Go ahead.
I think our mic is going to be appropriate for sure. We have a question? Okay, give it up for Jasmine. Who's your question for, Jasmine? The gentleman in the middle.
Which one?
This guy, he gets picked up.
We're not out of the two.
OG or young OG?
The bald one.
Uh-oh. There's just...
So have you, first of all, I want to say yes, I agree with the women here that systematically and culturally, women are almost programmed to fight through everything that you're, juggle all the, sorry, you heard me. They're juggling so much and you just have to fight through it. And culturally, or at least for me, I'm Hispanic and Mexican, my mom didn't know how to ask for help, and that's something that I struggled with, but I'm specifically pointing to you only because you mentioned that this, erectile dysfunction is maybe harder, and for women, we have lube, but for someone who's younger in her early 30s, where I'm going to be 30 in May, and I think Nuria can relate and add on to this. Sometimes lube, we're both in peri-menopause, I think that's how you call it, or menopause essentially as younger women because we went through cancer and that's one of the side effects. And so we tried lubricants, all types, medical grade from, and it doesn't work. It's painful. And that really does hurt, very similar to erectile dysfunction. I'm sure that hurts your ego, but for us, it's not ego driven. For us, it really impacts us, our mental health and
Now, when you're saying it hurts, you're saying it hurts
physically, emotionally.
Yeah.
So sometimes even just, I'm not picking on you, but just the misinformation and the judgment that everyone gives, because we all have opinions, especially when we're uneducated in certain aspects. I just want to make it clear that it's not that simple. It's not just like, oh yeah, you have, use the lube, women have lube, but it doesn't always work. And I forgot my other
At
thought.
the end of the day, you can still get drunk, pass out, and you can wake up, you can be in a good mood, right?
No.
I kind of want to add on to that. See, going through that process with my wife, like if this was 3 years ago, I'd probably be getting a bunch of red flags right now as well. So my experience with her going through what they call like early menopause, yeah, so it was rough. And they prepared me when I went to the doctors. They were like, just be prepared. Everything that is happening to her body, the way she reacts, the way she communicates, it's not her. It's what's happening to her body. So for us, yeah, we can't get it up, and it'll hurt our ego. But for them, it hurts them emotionally, mentally. It hurts it's like almost like I don't know if you can, unless you disagree. It affects maybe their nervous system as well.
I don't know, man, but if I couldn't get hard, it would hurt me emotionally too. So
no, I agree. No, I 100% agree.
So, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. That's true too. Like there's a pill for us, but there's no pill to bring back the menstruation cycle.
Right.
So I guess during that time, that experience that I had with her, I had to learn because of it. It's like, all right, there has to be another way that I can love her other than the physically intimacy. And it was a long 2 years.
We're all here and we're all learning things, right? And I think being able to hear that is great for me to be more understanding in case I was ever in that situation.
And I think that I want to add one more thing, if I may. A emotional adjustments, and one of the reasons that I think that I was really successful during my treatment was because he was very emotionally in tune with what I was going through and was interested in knowing what I was going through and the symptoms and how he can help. And to give the professional here credit, I was like, at one point I'm like, don't touch me. The next second, literally within seconds, now hug me, and then go take out the trash, but don't take it now. It's very, we can't control it. So I'm not minimizing erectile dysfunction. I'm just saying menopause, you guys will be heartbroken and your ego will be hurt and emotionally you might be wrecked, but we have so many other factors that affect us and as a result affect the relationship. But if the men are willing to be open and patient and kind, it really benefits the relationship, and as a result in women we get to be softer, more gentle, more kinder. So I think that women that don't get that support and find an easy route to cheat or to mistreat their partners, I think that first of all we're not being communicative with our needs and open with what we're going through, because some of the times we don't know what's going on. We can't understand, especially when we don't have a professional like you giving us that information and guiding us. But I think that the biggest message I can say is if your partner is willing to support you, cater to you, and listen to your needs and your wants, that brings the woman's guard down and will benefit the relationship. We won't be as, what some people call it, rude and bitchy.
I think I guess let me just answer to that. I think you're absolutely right. The one thing we heard all night was the word communication. Don't get me wrong, I like to challenge people. That's why I challenge a lot of things that we're talking about today. Me as a person, I understand, at 45 years old, I've been through the ups and the downs with relationships, and I understand that it takes two to work a relationship out. It takes a lot of communication and patience, so I get it, and it's a great takeaway for myself being here today, so I appreciate it. And the biggest thing that I leave out of here with is just being more of an active listener and being